guys, it's Jen here from Classic Cosmetics. Now usually we talk about makeup here, but today's going to be a little bit of a different video. Now I'm talking all the time about makeup and how it can make you feel good. It can enhance your mood. It can brighten things up and just make you feel good about yourself. Now what if I told you though that the things that we are putting on our bodies, the things that we're consuming, can also have an effect on us, but not in the way that we want it to. Nowadays, we hear a lot of things about the food that we're eating and the products that we're using. Now, just as cleansing your house and cleansing through your clothes can bring you joy, a lot of the things that we're going to talk about today have sparked a lot of controversy. We're so excited to have Cara Lynn here with us today, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her background and why she's so passionate about this topic.
Sounds good. So, like 15 years ago, I had really bad depression, like suicidal depression. And I thought, this is not me, I didn't always have this, so I want to heal from this. I don't want to be or have this my entire life. And nothing against antidepressants, it's great for people, but I just knew that I didn't want to do that my rest of my life. So I went to doctor after doctor saying, I want to heal from this, I don't want this. And they kept saying, there's nothing we can do to help you except give you an antidepressant. There's nothing to heal from. And so I finally found a doctor that was like, oh, I can heal you. You need to heal your gut. So your gut is the root of all inflammation, and inflammation causes depression. And so we need to take care of your gut, but then we also need to take care of all your beauty and hygiene products because they are endocrine disruptors. They have a lot of like phthalates and parabens and things in them that are the endocrine disruptors. And so if we clean that up, that will balance your hormones. And if we clean your gut up, that will control your inflammation and you can be free of your depression.
Oh my goodness. And to be free of depression, to even hear those words, it's like swimming through dark and deep waters saying, yes, thank you, thank you. I know that some of you know that I've suffered from depression and anxiety too, mostly coming right after having kids because my hormones went all over the place. So we are here at the store. We're going to show you a few products that you can use instead of the stuff that you've been buying. And believe it or not, it's at stores you're already shopping at. So let's get started. Glyphosate.
Yeah. We're not in a glyphosate area. We're in a paraben phthalate.
Paraben palace.
There you go.
That's where we are right now. There are like so many products everywhere. Like, which sunscreen am I gonna get? Which one can I put on Sophie? Which one is okay? There's all of this stuff over here. Holy cow. I mean, am I gonna have to start shopping at Whole Foods? Am I gonna have to start shopping at an all-natural place where they're like so super expensive? Jen, no.
You can just go to Walmart, Target, Costco, Amazon. It doesn't have to be some fancy place. You can find it anywhere.
Places I already shop.
Yeah,
okay, so
exactly.
We're here at Target. What can I get here?
Well, let's look around. Usually in the aisles, there's always a good choice, a better choice, and a best choice. So right behind you, actually, Shea Moisture is a really good company. Their stuff rates really well on like Think Dirty or even EWG.org. And so they've got shampoo, they've got conditioner, they've got blowout cream for your hair, they've got curl cream, they've got lotions, everything you need.
And I can trust all of this.
On Shea Moisture, yep. And this is a good one. No sulfates, no parabens, no phthalates, all the no's.
Her Instagram will change your life.
Like, because you talk about baby stuff, you talk about everything. Yeah. Me and my sister-in-law were talking about that the other day. The things that you can just do a little bit better of. Yeah, so that's awesome. Thanks, you guys.
So something I've been hearing about in the media is glyphosate. I don't feel like I ever say that right. Did I get it?
Yep, you did.
Okay, glyphosate. It's kind of a hot topic. What is it?
So glyphosate is an herbicide that they're putting on the crops out on the farm. And because it's being done out on the farm, products don't have to label it as their ingredient. Also is destroying the good bacteria in the gut. And so then once your good bacteria is destroyed, that's what's causing inflammation and leaky gut and so many issues that are the root problem of depression, anxiety, migraines, joint pain, a whole slew of infertility, a whole slew of issues.
And that's near and dear to my heart.
Okay. Main problem though with glyphosate is that they have changed our seeds of like corn, soy, canola, sugar, cotton to thrive when this glyphosate or this weed killer or Roundup is sprayed on them. So they're spraying the sugar beets to get rid of all the weeds and everything, but the sugar beets have been genetically modified to grow in that glyphosate. So anytime you see just sugar in a product, most likely it's covered in glyphosate, because over 90% of our crops for sugar are genetically modified. So if you don't want the genetically modified sugar, it has to say cane sugar.
Okay, and that was going to be my next question. Like, obviously all of these places don't want to put on there, why yes, I am sprayed with glyphosate. So how do we know that we can trust a product? Like, is there something on there, either in the ingredients or a sticker on the outside that says, you can trust me, I'm not sprayed with that?
So they just came out with a new label called Glyphosate Free, but you hardly see it. It's too new that you don't see it very often. So you can always check for organic. Organic crops cannot be sprayed with glyphosate.
Okay.
The problem is, though, that they're finding traces of glyphosate in organic, but that's due to like sharing farm equipment or it being in the water.
That makes sense.
Things. But organic crops cannot be sprayed.
So organic then is something we can always trust. It's always going to be the best thing to choose, right?
Yes. So my only hesitation in saying that is, okay, I mark everything as like good, better, best.
I love that.
Organic organic always gets best. But why I hesitate is because within organic brands, you might choose something better than the other. Like if you put two breads together, just because they're organic doesn't mean they're equal in nutrition. One might be better than the other.
Okay.
If it doesn't say 100% organic, which this doesn't.
This does not, okay.
It has the label from the USDA that it is organic. Okay. But because it doesn't say 100%, it can have 5 to 10% that's not organic. And so that's where you want the non-GMO label to know that those other 5% of ingredients are not genetically modified crops. Even though organic is not supposed to have genetically modified crops in it.
Right.
This is just another stamp of verification telling you those extra 5% of ingredients are not genetically modified.
And I think that we need to understand too that there is always going to be a best option out there, but rarely in our day and age is there a perfect option. So best is good. Yep. Best is awesome. So let's just say then GMO, what is that? Let's just say what that is for people that don't know.
Okay. So this is so confusing to people. There are only 10 genetically modified crops that are commercially sold in America. So like peaches is not one. So on baby food, when you see like non-GMO peaches, that label means nothing. It's like a marketing ploy.
Gotcha.
But the 5 big ones that you need to look for are the sugar beets. So sugar, corn, canola, soy, and cotton. Those are like the 5 main ones that you see in all the processed foods.
Okay.
So if you, well, not in this because it's organic, but say this, you look at this, there's no non-GMO label on here, right?
Right.
So if I turn this over and I see any of those ingredients in here, then I'm going to know there's glyphosate because they've used a genetically modified sugar or soy or something in here.
Because if it was natural sugar, it would say cane sugar, right?
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. Along with the same theme of the fact that we don't need to shop somewhere else, it's all right here. I love that you've come up with something that maybe we should steer clear from in one store, but at the same store, we've got a good option.
So, I'm going to tell you about cereal because it's so crazy to me, I think. Okay, General Mills owns Cascadian Farms.
That's their sister company, right?
They came up with this brand because back in the 80s, this was a good food. It wasn't sprayed with glyphosate. It didn't have genetically modified food in it. And so they didn't want to get rid of that recipe. That would be a waste of money. Yeah. So they took that recipe that we're all used to, us that are older, from the 80s, and stuck it in here. So this is the good stuff from the 80s, just in a new packaging that makes it look like a new recipe that they've come up with.
Okay.
This is the new recipe in the old packaging that we're used to. This recipe has the genetically modified crops in it, therefore the glyphosate in it.
That makes sense. And probably the reason that they wanted to put it in here instead of changing up their stuff is because it's cheaper to do it this way and to spray those seeds and all that kind of stuff that you were talking about. but everybody trusts this.
Right.
So they're not going to want to change the label that they trust to this one.
Correct.
They're going to want to keep it with this one. And kids love this. Just buy this one instead.
Or
Easy change.
also, you know how people always say, well, I ate that growing up and I'm just fine. Like I get that all the time. I want to say to those people, no, you did not eat this. You ate this. It's just in a different box. You're used to this box.
That blew my mind.
This is the worst baby product ever.
What is that?
Dreft laundry
I've
detergent.
never even heard of that.
Oh, it's horrible.
got that.
Back in the day. Yeah,
I thought it was good.
Okay, so as moms, we want the very, very, very best for our children. And that starts when they're babies, right? You want to put the most natural ingredients on them. You want them to be soothed. You want them to smell good and all that kind of stuff. But I think quite a few years ago, we've kind of gone off the path of doing what's best for our kids. But if you look at all of these ingredients in here, or not necessarily the ingredients, sorry, if you look at the packaging, I would think that so many of these things are safe and gentle for my baby. But what I'm learning from you is that that's not the case.
Yeah, so with babies especially, their skin just soaks in everything. It's just way more sensitive to products than our skin is. Our skin's a little bit tougher. So if you think about the bath soap, the bath lotions, the diaper rash cream, the baby powder, there's so much that we're putting on these little kids and they just can't handle it at a young age.
Now, something that's helped me a ton is that it can seem overwhelming, like where do I start, what do I do? You made cheat sheets and I love them and live by them. Please tell me you're coming out with one for baby.
I am.
Yay!
So I have one coming out soon, actually really soon. It's almost done and it is an awesome baby guide. So, and why I say that is because it's not just like baby lotions and baby soaps and all this stuff that you see there, but I went a little step further and did like car seats and playpens and crib mattresses that don't have the flame retardant chemicals on it.
That's
because we're now even finding out that flame retardant chemicals are bad, of course, and so there's stuff like that on there. And I'm excited because there's like baby carriers and blankets, and it's all organic baby carriers and organic blankets, and people think that's crazy. Like, why in the world do you need...
Who would have even thought of that?
Why would you need organic blankets? Well, the thing is, cotton is one of the dirtiest crops out there, and it is sprayed with glyphosate tremendously and so many other chemicals and pesticides and anyways, so cotton's a mess.
Yeah.
So now why do we want to wrap our little newborns up in these gross cotton blankets? So I put like organic blankets on there and I'm excited for it. It's a good one.
Honestly, I love it. Like,
Oh,
I
thank
just had a
you.
baby 2 weeks ago, and I'm like,
Oh, did you?
so careful about what I'm putting on him, and I'm just like so grateful for
Oh,
Instagram.
you're so sweet.
I was like, she posted finally.
Oh, you're sweet. Well, I have a baby guide coming out this week.
Oh, good.
That you'll love.
Good.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you know when that baby guide comes out. If you have children, if you're going to have children, if you know children. So make sure that you're following Cara Lynn at just.ingredients on Instagram. There are so many products for women. There are so many things that we are putting on our hair, that we're putting on our faces, that we're putting all over our skin.
There are so many teenagers dealing with depression and anxiety and just so many health issues out there in the world. And all it takes is for us parents to be a little bit educated to be able to help ourselves and help our kids. And if we can educate our kids as to all these endocrine disruptors and all these things in these beauty products, if we educate them just a little bit, it will just give them such a better start and more hope in a healthier future for them. And I always say, parents have the responsibility to take care of your kids in all aspects of their life, right?
Yes.
And so why not give them the best fighting chance possible in a crazy health world where there's so many health
Yes.
issues? Give them every fighting chance possible to make it.
That really hits home to me, you know, wanting to be that good parent, because with some of my kids, I've noticed some ADHD tendencies. And if I can educate myself, especially after going to your site, that the dyes that we have are really contributing to those tendencies, ADHD, and to anxiety and depression. And I can take those out of my house. I'm in control of that. I can make that happen. I can take things that they use every single day, like all these things with fragrance in them. I mean, how much fragrance is in all of these things that they use every single day, right?
Yeah, it is crazy. The dyes, the chemicals, the phthalates, the parabens, the fragrance, everything. Like, just pick something. I just picked this off the shelf, and like, it has fragrance in there, right there. But here's the good thing. Teenage kids always, or teenage daughters always want like fragrant lotions or fragrant shampoos,
I do.
whatever.
I do.
Right. So fragrance is not always bad, but in this case it's horrible because it doesn't say phthalate free anywhere. The problem in fragrance are the phthalates. And so if it says phthalate free, then you know there are not phthalates in the fragrance. And so some companies will still use synthetic chemicals, but they will give you the code name so you can go check the safety out of the chemicals.
Okay.
So you just want to really stay away from the phthalates and some of the harmful chemicals in fragrance.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, if we use something like the Dirty app, I have Think Dirty on my phone. Don't judge. But it's an app where you can scan things and it'll give you, 0 to 10, 10 being the worst, whatever. How reliable do you feel that app is?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something about Think Dirty.
Okay.
Think Dirty is a great guide, but take it as a guide because it has a lot of errors on it. For instance, fragrance is one of their major errors. Anything that has fragrance, they just give it an 8.
They give it an 8. I've noticed that.
And so sometimes you've got to go make sure that that fragrance has no phthalates in it, because if that fragrance has no phthalates in it, then it's not as bad as it's claiming.
Okay,
And
because
so-
all of our essential oils have fragrance that we can smell, right? But those are good for us. Oh no, don't open that can of worms. That was your face said all the things. I've been using essential oils.
Okay, so essential oils have great benefits, great health benefits. I love essential oils.
I'm ready for the butt.
Well, you've got to make sure they're pure essential oils
Okay.
and where they're coming from. So when something on the shelf just says fragrance with essential oils, that could be some dirty, nasty essential oils. So you've got to know where the essential oils are coming from.
So like if I'm going through a company like doTERRA or Young Living or
Correct.
something like that,
They're
that
good,
is
pure,
okay.
yeah.
So I can take, like something that I liked from your site is that I'm obviously not gonna grab this for like hand soap or anything like that, but I can grab something that's more natural, not scented. I can put it in those BPA-free bottles
Yes.
and dilute
Yes.
them. I learned the hard way. You must dilute things. Okay, and then I can add essential oils to
Yes.
that from my
Yes.
good company, all
Yes.
that kind of stuff. So.
And there are some products that have fragrance with essential oils that are good, but there are some that aren't so great. So just to say bluntly, like, oh, buy it because it's fragrance with essential oil, you can't
It's
claim
good
that.
marketing.
Yeah.
It's good marketing. Okay, that makes sense.
Wait,
But
this is new. Look at that, organic cotton balls.
what?
And why would anyone want organic cotton balls?
Because cotton's dirty.
Yes, exactly. So dirty.
I'm learning, and now I'm gonna stock up.
I better stock up too. We'll both stock up.
Don't mind us. Most impactful things that I've heard you say is that how can we make a difference and all that kind of stuff? We vote with our dollars. They are chasing money. The reason they do this is because it makes so much money. It's probably a multi-billion-dollar thing, right? And so if we're not buying it, they're going to notice that. They're going to start chasing the dollars. So let's put our dollars into better things, right?
Is so true. So you've probably seen a lot more organic options on the market and pure things, and they're taking out fragrance and they're taking out sulfates and they're taking out parabens. You see that a lot more now, and it's because companies' revenues have been dropping. And so it was all over the news that Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo had dropped 20% in sales. So what they do? Reformulated it without the parabens, the phthalates, things like that, so that people would still keep buying their products. So it's so important to vote with your dollars. Everybody asks me all the time, what can I do? Well, you can't really go fight Capitol Hill. You know what I mean? We can't go fight the lobbyists all the time, but we can vote every single day with our dollars.
Yeah, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming to know where to start. So I'm so grateful, I mentioned it before, I'm so grateful that Carlin put together cheat sheets for you. They're so ridiculously cheap, which we might need to talk about. Really, really cheap. But you can go and you can buy them and you can see the first top 10 things to kind of switch over. A beauty guide, all for women, on things where it's on the same aisle that you've been buying your stuff at, just right next door to it, right? Better options. So go to just.ingredients. You can get those cheat sheets. I have personally used them constantly when I'm going shopping. She gives you all of the ingredients to look out for, things that are pretty good, and then her favorites. So you have lots and lots of options. Go and check it out. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For doing all of this
so sweet.
and for dealing with my craziness and running down the aisles and having so much fun. We'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I just smell it like, oh. Terrible.